Hey everyone, my name is Rob Smith. I am your host for Run As You Are Footwear Reviews. I'm a longtime amateur runner and a big fan of footwear. Today we have a very special shoe from Adidas, the Adidas Supernova Rise. Let's get into it. This thing's actually super light for a daily trainer. 277 grams for the men's size 9-10. Women's is 246 grams for around a women's size 9. 10 millimeter heel to toe drop, so standard heel to toe drop for Adidas. You're looking at about 35 mil in the heel, 25 mil in the toe. This is actually a brand new foam from Adidas. It's called Dream Strike Plus. The best way to describe Dream Strike Plus, it's kind of like a softer Light Strike Pro, and it's lighter than Boost. So if you can wrap your head around that, you run in either of those shoes. Basically, it's got plush with a little bit of spring to it, and it's not too squishy. It's kind of the perfect foam for everyday running. This foam is not intended to spring you back at a high rate, but it will provide some bounce back, and you can really kind of feel that working throughout. The best comparison, I would say, would be the Nova Blast, the Nova Blast 4 especially. That flight foam feels somewhat similar to this. So if you know that foam, you're gonna know this foam. Any sort of traditional EVA is gonna feel a little bit flat if you're comparing it to a foam like this. But competitor-wise, if you're running in the Saucony Ride, the Pegasus, even the Triumph actually from Saucony, if you wanna go a little bit higher in stack height, and the Nova Blast, you'll likely enjoy this shoe too. Underneath, we're looking at not a Continental rubber outsole, which is what you're used to with Adidas. This is actually just a straight up rubber outsole. It covers mostly the outside of the shoe, so you're gonna have really, really good coverage, great grip. If you've been running in Adidas for some time now, you're used to these carbon rods that come down between the midsole and the outsole. Basically, they're sandwiched in there. They're meant to mimic your toes and primarily give you a bit more power when you're toeing off. This system here, this rod system, it mimics those carbon-infused rods, but they're made of EVA. So what happens here is you get way more flexibility, but you also get a lot of torsional stability. So if you're somebody that needs a stability shoe, or you feel like you're weak in the ankles, or maybe you're injured and you have a bit of an asymmetry on one side and are diving in, these rods are really gonna help you when you land to feel a lot more stable, a lot more secure. Coupled with the fact this isn't a massively high stacked shoe like you're seeing in the marketplace on a lot of everyday runners. This shoe is 25-35. It's a sweet spot. It's great. This is comfortable. You don't feel like you're running around in a brick. I would probably lace this shoe up more than the Boston unless I wanted to pick it up a bit more. So speaking of pickup, this shoe is not intended to go run a tempo. It's not intended to do a fartlek. It's definitely not intended to take to the track, but that is not the reason Adidas made this shoe. I was lucky enough to head to Herzo in April and talk to the lead designer JT about this shoe, and he was explaining that, you know, the Boston, when you lace it up, it wants to go fast. The Takumi wants to go fast. The Ultra Boost, it wants to chill, but the reality with the Ultra Boost is you've got a pretty rigid cage around your foot, and it's pretty unforgiving if you don't fit that cage. This shoe really covers all of that. It sits right in the middle. If you have a mid-wide foot or even a narrow foot, the shoe's gonna feel super, super comfortable. And if you feel like you've got a slightly wider foot, especially in the toe box, you're definitely okay on the lateral side. I'd give it a go. But if you feel like you've got width kind of through the midfoot, I'd probably skip this one and head to something else. You do have a bit more of a traditional arch and midfoot support around this shoe. This shoe is something that Adidas has been cooking up for some time. It is much, much needed in this marketplace, especially for Adidas fans, especially for somebody just looking for a light daily trainer, and they finally hit the mark. In fact, Adidas took it a step further. They not only made this shoe for the everyday runner, they made this shoe for females only. So, as you probably are aware now, a lot of female shoes are built off the men's last. This shoe is built specifically off of female foot shape. In fact, 1,300 females specifically dictated what the shape of this shoe was going to look like, and at the top of the charts, the feedback was comfort was king. All right, there you have it. That is the Adidas Supernova Rise from our friends in Germany. If you are looking for a daily trainer, give it a go. I think you'll really, really like that new Dream Strike Plus. It's super comfortable. It is available now at runasyouare.co. Follow us on all of our social channels at runasyouare. Hit us with a like and a subscribe. Stay tuned for our next videos, and we'll see you on the road.